So I'm Jeff Holzmann. I'm the company's Chief Operating Officer for the entire RREAF Holdings Group. I've been here for going on 10 years. Started in asset management, kind of worked my way up, and I became the Chief Operating Officer right around COVID.
Joy.
Yeah, yeah. There's a story behind that, but we'll go into another time. But the things that happened in COVID kind of accelerated some processes that ended up with me going into that role.
Okay.
So it's not a coincidence. Interesting time. I'm sure there's people watching us that were maybe younger when COVID happened, but it was a big deal, and I was here at RREAF for that. Let's talk about wellness for a minute. So the first thing I'll say is I'm not necessarily the person that you would think of as let's go to Jeff to talk about wellness. It's not. It was not on my agenda. It was not on my radar, at least not consciously. And like most things in life, I try to kind of dissect, okay, what does this mean? I write it down. I usually have a dashboard for things. I have KPIs, right? Key performance indicators. Try to measure things. And wellness is like, I can't measure that. I don't care. Let's move on. What I've learned, and a lot of it is thanks to you and some of the things that you've introduced here, Pokey, is that, first of all, wellness is important. And there are ways to measure. And I think you've all taught us that wellness kind of breaks down into those three things, right? It's your physical, your spiritual,
Emotional.
and emotional.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way of looking at it, dissecting it and thinking, okay, so let's look at each of those individually and how can I do better? And you've introduced some great concepts and I've learned from them and I now practice them. So the whole thing about getting better sleep, making sure if something is making you stressful, try to isolate what that is. Let's see what we can do to fight that. Don't just accept it. Let's see if there's something we can do there. Drink more water, exercise more. Those things are, it's very easy to be cynical about that in a business environment and say, I don't have time for that nonsense. But you really need to make time for that because it's not nonsense and it does impact your work. And I want to give you a great story that I think can really help encapsulate that. This is something that happened to me actually in a previous job, just before I came to RREAF. I was a managing director of a firm in New York, and my big bosses from overseas were coming for a trip. It was a business trip, obviously, and we were setting up meetings. And I was responsible, since I was the managing director for all of North America, my job was, among others, to put that agenda together. And I started planning this trip, and we were going to meet, it was all real estate, so we went to see assets and sponsors and visiting factories. And thinking about wellness, I put in things like, okay, here we're going to do a lunch break. And this big boss, he was my boss, he was the big boss of the firm. He called me up after looking at the agenda, and he goes, Jeff, we don't have time for this nonsense. Who do you think we are? We're here to work. And I'm like,
don't
eat lunch. So did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
I'm not a wellness guru, but don't people need to eat? But it really made me feel, and this is huge, it made me feel emotionally like he's kind of belittling me, like, okay, we're really here to work, and Jeff, I don't know what it is that you think we do here. And I immediately, he's my boss, right? So I immediately started.
You pivot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You recalculate. I'm like, all right, we're going to take this out, and I'm going to, build the agenda exactly the way he wants it, and we're going to work. Sure. And I was, for a minute there, I actually went home impressed. I'm like, wow, this guy is like, maybe that's why he's the big boss, because he's a
he works all the time.
He works all the time. Look at him. He's pushing through. Like, all right, we're going to do this. Pokey, the day of the event, the day that this trip actually started, we hit the road based on the agenda. We're in our first 2-3 meetings. And then it's right around lunchtime. We need to get in the car and go to the next meeting because that's the way we planned it. He looks at me and he goes, what are we doing for lunch?
You took lunch away.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we had this discussion. He's like, nah, Jeff, it's, come on, we need to eat. The things have changed, blah, blah. Not only that, I'm like, okay, let's pivot. We're going to stop at the first place we can.
Yeah.
He doesn't even stop in the first place we can. He's like, no, I don't like that. We're going to go here. We're going to go here.
No way.
And I'm like, you jerk.
now I look like.
Now I have to call these next couple of meetings and make cancellations because this is not going to work. The guy screwed everything up. He's no longer the big boss, by the way. I'm completely serious. Bottom line is, wellness, whether you like it or not, my friend, needs to be put in your agenda.
Yeah.
And if you think that you can, this is just an example about lunch, but if you think you can cut out wellness, lunch, water, sleep,
Yeah.
whatever, meditate,
Movement,
all these
breathing.
things, it's going to catch up to you.
It will.
And when it does, you have not made room for it, you're going to regret it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was a huge lesson for me. And I know it's very easy to be cynical about wellness, but when you think about it, it makes you better in so many ways. And a better you is better for us here at RREAF. So
Oh, that's good.
it's real.
That's really
it's real.
good. Yeah, a better.
So I can certainly do better when it comes to wellness, but having somebody here like you reminding us, educating us, giving us ideas, giving us nudges in the right direction is huge. And like you and I spoke in a previous video about volunteering and serving, we're not pushing this on anybody. We're not forcing anybody to do any of this. But
and we're not rewarding or punishing you for not doing
nor
it.
are we measuring.
Nope.
I'm not measuring how many hours you sleep or how much water you're drinking, but we are nudging you in the right direction because we're all humans and we need that nudge. I know that I did. And I'm not perfect, but I am doing better when it comes to both, both physical, emotional, and spiritual. So it's really helping out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for all you do.